All right, let's get into it. Today, we're jumping into Genesis chapter 11. It's a really short chapter, but wow, is it a big one. This is the story that explains how humanity went from this single, unified group to all the scattered nations we know today. It's a huge turning point in the narrative, so let's break it down. But before we dive in, just think about this for a second. What if everyone on the entire planet spoke the exact same language? Can you imagine the kind of collaboration that would be possible? The shared understanding, the sheer power of that kind of unity? Well, that's precisely the world we're dropped into at the start of Genesis 11. And the text doesn't mess around, it just lays it right out there in the very first verse. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. The way it's presented, this isn't some metaphor. It's the literal state of the world. One people, one way to talk to each other. This is our ground zero, the starting point for everything that's about to happen. Okay, so first up, a world of one speech, the ontology of unity. And that's a key idea here. The text is describing something much deeper than just everyone having a shared language. It's almost like an ontological unity. Like humanity isn't just cooperating. In a very real sense, they are one single thing. And you can see this reflected in the way the story is told. Think about the wording. It's always, they journeyed together. They found a plane together. They dwelt there together. See that? Every single action is collective. It's like they're being described as this one single being, moving and acting with a single will. So where does this lead? Next section, the Tower of Ambition, forging a name in brick and mortar. With all this incredible collaborative power, this unified people decides, hey, let's build something. And I mean, literally, let's build something. And this isn't just any old construction project. No, this one is born from a really powerful and very specific ambition. And they have a pretty clear four-step plan. First, there's the tech, right? They figure out how to make brick and burn them thoroughly. This is a big deal, a real innovation. Then the goal, build a city, and inside it, a tower that stretches all the way up to the heavens. But it's the why that's so important. Step 3, make a name for ourselves. And the ultimate goal, step 4, do all of this so we don't get scattered. And this one quote, man, it just gets right to the absolute heart of it. This whole massive ambition, it's all being driven by fear. A deep, deep fear of being dispersed, of losing this unity they have, of just being forgotten, you know? Making a name for themselves, it's their shot at permanence. It's their attempt to stand up and defy what might be the natural order of things, which is spreading out across the world. Okay, so they're building this thing to preserve themselves. But this huge act of ambition doesn't exactly go unnoticed. This is where the whole story pivots. The camera angle completely shifts, and we get to see this whole project through a totally different set of eyes. So from the human perspective, right, it's all about let us build. Their focus is completely upward. They're looking to the heavens, trying to achieve something absolutely epic all on their own. You can just feel the self-confidence, the sense of their own power. And then, boom, you get this amazing contrast. While humanity is desperately trying to reach up, the text says God has to come down just to see what they're doing. That one word, down, just completely reframes the entire scale of the event. What feels so massive and monumental to humanity is, from this other perspective, something you have to stoop to even get a look at. So you have this total clash of wills. And what's interesting is that the text seems to suggest the problem wasn't really the physical tower. It wasn't about them literally breaking into heaven. The concern mentioned is this. Now nothing will be withholden from them which they purpose to do. It's about their unlimited, unchecked potential. As one people with one language, there was literally nothing they couldn't achieve if they set their minds to it. So the response described in the text is, well, it's surgical. It's incredibly precise. The tower isn't smashed to bits. Instead, the action targets the very source of their power, their ability to communicate. Let us go down and there confound their language. It's a brilliant move, because by breaking their language, you break their ability to work together. That one people dissolves back into a collection of individuals who can't understand each other. And what happens next? Well, this leads us to the story's great, big, tragic irony. The one thing, the very thing they were building this tower to stop from happening is exactly what happens. The outcome is immediate and it's total. First, construction grinds to a halt. You can't build a tower if you can't talk to the guy next to you, so the city is abandoned. And then the people are scattered. not just a little, but across the entire face of the earth. Their deepest fear becomes a reality. Their grand plan to stay together is the very thing that tears them apart. And of course, the place gets a name to remember what happened there: Babel. And the text actually gives us a little language lesson. It says the name comes from the Hebrew verb balal, which means to confuse or to confound. So the city's name is basically confusion, because that's where their language was confused. It's a permanent reminder of what went down. So the story has just blown up to its widest possible scope, right? We're talking about all of humanity all over the globe. And then, just like that, the chapter makes this incredible pivot. The camera, which was on this super wide shot, just zooms all the way in. It pulls focus from everyone, everywhere, down to one single family. Yeah, the rest of the chapter is a genealogy. And look, I know sometimes these lists of names can feel a little dry, but this one is absolutely critical to the story. You have to think of it like a bridge. It's the bridge that connects the shattered, scattered world of Babel to the very beginning of a brand new story, all focused on one family. So this timeline shows us the path. It starts with Shem, who is one of Noah's sons, and it goes down through key figures like Eber, where we get the word Hebrew. But check this out. There's this one guy named Peleg, and the text gives us this little note. His name means division, because it says, in his days was the earth divided. That is a direct shout out to the story of Babel we just heard. Anyway, the line keeps going down to a man named Terah and his kids. And then we get to verse 26, the end of the line, the destination of this entire chapter, Abram. After this huge story of how the entire world was fractured and divided, the narrative funnel has narrowed everything down to this one guy, Abram. He is the new starting point. So when you step back, you see Genesis 11 does two massive things. First, it gives this incredible origin story for why we have different languages and different nations all over the world. But second, and just as important, it pulls off this masterful transition. It takes the story of everybody and focuses it down to the story of somebody, a man named Abram and the family that will come from him. Which leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. The story starts with this one kind of unity, a powerful, all-encompassing unity that, according to the text, leads to some pretty dangerous ambition. And it ends with division. So here's the thought. By shattering that first kind of unity, did this event actually pave the way for a totally different kind of unity to emerge later on through the story of Abram's family? It's a pretty deep question, and it's right at the core of what makes this chapter such a turning point.